Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Chase Geiser Network. This is Guess Who's Bak with myself, Chase Geiser, as your host, joined by my esteemed co-host, Steven Bak. And sorry for the late start tonight. We just had so much to do. But the news has been absolutely insane over the course of forever, ever since the fall of man in the Garden of Eden. And right now, we're at a point where the United States of America is the oldest democracy in the world. I know it's a constitutional republic, but we do have democratic processes in our elections. We are the oldest democracy in the world because, frankly, no democracies ever last. We know that democracy is the leading cause of tyranny. It has been throughout history, and it will be for the foreseeable future unless something fundamentally changes about human nature, which doesn't seem to be the case anytime soon, despite the fact that we have created artificial intelligence in our image, just as God created us in his image, as a false idol, Babylon tower, only to unite all the languages into one, to reverse the condemnation of God and reset the wrath of God upon the human species. But right now we're in a position where conflict in the Middle East is escalating. Corruption is rampant in Congress. Our educational institutions have been totally corrupted by critical theory, racism, leftism, sexism, transgenderism, whatever you want to call it. Basically all of the diseases of the mind that everyone with any wisdom has been warning us about throughout the ages. All these diseases have infected us as if they were the bubonic plague, but instead of rats and ships, it's just Democrats and shits. But here we are on the verge of escalating war in the Middle East, which is likely going to lead to World War III, which has frankly already started. We've got massive inflation. We've got record low approval ratings for the President of the United States, a crumbling administration. We've got rampant corruption. I'm not saying specifically from Trump, but obviously our foreign policy is dictated by foreigners. Prices at the grocery store continue to go up and up while incomes remain stagnant. The housing crisis is looming as there's a massive bubble going on. And it's revealed time and time again that there's massive waste and corruption in our government, yet nothing is done about it, namely the fact that Nick Shirley, who was praised by JD Vance on Joe Rogan's podcast today, did identify millions upon millions upon millions of dollars in Medicaid fraud in New York City, just as he identified so many millions of dollars in child care fraud months ago. And the SAVE Act, which is a very simple piece of legislation that would require people to prove that they're actually citizens of the United States in order to vote in elections in the United States, doesn't seem to have any hope of passing anytime soon. And we all like to know and say that Lindsey Graham, before his tragic and untimely death, was a massive proponent of the SAVE Act. And so we should do everything we can to honor Lindsey Graham and pass it. But the only reason he was supporting it is because he knew that there was no chance in hell it was ever going to pass. It was a support of convenience, and it came with earmarks. It came with stipulations, namely the massive funding of a military-industrial complex as flock cameras are put up everywhere by private organizations, and our data is sold to the government as the deep state surveillance state manifests right before our eyes and consumes our water and our energy and raises all of our bills in the name of convenience as we eradicate the demand for human labor altogether, just so the government can be justified in manifesting universal basic income and a social credit score so it can control every aspect of our life and surveil and track every aspect of our life. Massive facial recognition from flock cameras compared to social media profiles, data to be sold to private corporations, publicly traded and manipulated by the White House and the deep state, which is the real state. And nobody's talking about the fact that we're about ready to see massive earthquakes in contested areas throughout the world generated by our deep state technology in the South Pole Station. So we've got a government that knows everything about us, is present everywhere, and totally powerful, all powerful. You know the definition of God, the academic definition of God, is the being which is omnipotent, omnipresent, and omniscient. It's all powerful, everywhere, and all-knowing. And that's exactly what our government is trying to manifest right now with the development of artificial technology, the surveillance state, the Golden Dome, and these incredible weapons that can destroy the planet in so many different ways, both overt and covert. Not only have we created artificial intelligence in our image and a mimicking of God, but now we are trying to create God himself controlled by us, a little slave God. The Holy Trinity of God, omniscient, omnipresent, and omnipotent, wielded by the deep state of the United States of America in coordination and corroboration and collaboration with the political elite of the world, who have conspired together to sell out the interests of their various constituents in exchange for maintaining and expanding their power. Democracy being the leading cause of tyranny. And many have seen all of these woes, all of these ails that our civilization and our species, frankly, is facing. And they say that we are living in end times. It's the book of Revelation happening right before our eyes. The wise words of Jim Morrison, he said, "The future's uncertain and the end is always near." Jesus Christ himself said that the end will come like a thief in the night. And time again throughout the last 2,000 years since Jesus Christ was last seen, generation after generation has believed that they live in end times because it often seems that there is no hope and that the only solution is the ultimate return of the Messiah. But I think we have years and years and centuries before that final outcome presents itself as reality on the face of this planet. So we have an entire political class merging, conspiring with a political class to manufacture God, a God without free will that obeys, a slave God. Almost as if they're calling God's bluff. They don't believe that he's going to come back. They don't believe that he's going to send his son back. And so in his absence, out of some bitterness and self-righteousness, they've decided to manufacture the God we so desperately seek. And in their own egoism, they believe that they themselves transcend God because they have the capacity to create God. Of course, it's a false idol. And we, the American people, who so bravely engaged in this American experiment, who so bravely declared independence from the most powerful empire in the history of powerful empires, have totally neglected to stop this disease from infecting our civilization. Why? Well, because democracy is the leading cause of tyranny. There's a reason the word democracy is not mentioned once in the Constitution of the United States of America. And as we forget God, we remember Sam Altman. As we forget Jesus Christ, we remember Palantir. As we forget the Holy Spirit, we see Peter Thiel. As we forget the wrath and the power of God, who created the universe with a word, we look to the South Pole Station to manufacture that very wrath ourselves and try to wield it. But ultimately, our power will culminate in destruction and not creation, disruption and not cohesion, chaos and not order. And in the name of solving that chaos, there will be a power vacuum in which these entities come together and preach that they have a solution for final order. But really what it will be is total subjugation. And the lesson to be learned on that day will be fascinating, great experiment. Try again. This is not the first time this has happened, whether you believe in ancient civilizations or not, whether you believe in the Ice Age theory that every 10,000 years or so the human species is wiped off the face of the earth, has to start all over, all of history erased, or whether you just look at the last 2,000 years of written history. You know there's only like half a dozen or a dozen written documents that describe or highlight at all what was happening in Britain in the 5th century. After Rome exited Britain because of the entropy of its empire, there's like a handful of letters between leaders in what is now Britain and Rome asking for help. We see from the archaeological findings that massive Roman structures in Britain were maintained for a small period of time, inhabited for an even longer period of time, and then abandoned to ruin after that. As the Roman Empire disintegrated, similar to what we're seeing that we're on the threshold of for the United States of America, the dark ages ensued, and there was a total erasure, a total eradication of all the power and order and awesomeness established by a once great empire. But there was a rebirth. There was a renaissance. And though this feels like the ultimate end, it's only a petite mort. It's only a little end. What we have to determine is what will come of this. What will come out of this? How can we ensure that the post-collapse civilization we encounter and enter and endure is just? And the first step is admitting you have a problem. The first step is awareness. Waking up, understanding that never in the history of humankind has there been a civilization this corrupt that has peacefully reversed that corruption. And if we don't want massive civil war, famine, starvation, imprisonment, persecution, prosecution, torture, murder, rape, death to be experienced by our daughters and our granddaughters and our great-granddaughters, then we better get our shit together. So that's what's on my mind at this midnight hour in this coast-to-coast like broadcast, is that the end of the world isn't coming, and that's the problem. Problem is, we have to endure and live in a dystopian apocalyptic climate without any hope of external salvation. Your soul may be saved by Jesus Christ, but your life will not be. Our lives are in our hands, and our hands are feeble. Bak, what's on your mind?
First things first, thank you so much for the $20 super chat. Sex Twister, we don't deserve it.
Yes, we do, but thank you.
He says, what's up, guys? Great monologue so far. I hope you host a post-show space there, a.k.a. he is Chief Lundgren on X Twitter. Guys, look him up.
We got a space going on right now.
Great ad. Second thing, you talked about sex, murder, rape.
These are a few of my favorite things.
Sounds like a hardcore album. The Tower of Babel was an allegory for ages and how time is cyclical and how we are entering the fourth turning. And the Bible itself alludes to there is nothing new under the sun.
Yeah, Ecclesiastes.
A lot of these technologies were handed to us to destroy ourselves by the fallen angels. I'm under the impression, I differ a little bit in my take. I do think every generation thought they were the last, but every generation was closer towards being correct. And if you just look at the technological capabilities that have been reintroduced to humanity, Alex has never rung more true. We are in a prison planet. We do have space-based satellites everywhere. We do have loitering drones. There is Neuralink. There is a digital financial system incoming. Closer than ever. We're inching closer than ever. So all of the conditions, whether the Bible was going to hold true on its own timeline or the Illuminists forced this timeline, it is still going to happen because the technology is in place and you see the prison planet being erected all around us. So don't look at the numbers on the clock. Look at what's being built around you. And that's all I have to say to that. We are closer than ever. I don't think we're hundreds of years away. I think we're not even decades away. They always give us this timeline. Oh, robots won't have these opposable thumbs. Anyone in manual labor, your job is fine. Don't you worry about it. They just came out with the freaking Neo robot that plays Mozart-level piano. Better than this Pinky over here. So those manual labor jobs that they told you were safe for the next 10, 15, 20 years, they're not even safe for the next 5 years now. You're being given a false timeline, lulled into complacency because they don't want you to revolt. You see the flock cameras going up everywhere. You see the data centers already being constructed all around you.
Yep.
Overcapacity. They don't need this many. We have a capacity that's like 5 times more than what China's building, and they have a much larger population base than us. It's because they're going to release AI agents. They're going to manage your buying habits, your purchasing habits. They're going to surveil you. Every keystroke that you make on a keyboard, every stroke on your shaft, they're going to know everything. Because there's going to be more than one instrument watching you, more than one agent, more than one object. You're going to be, like you said, omniscient, omnipresent surveillance at all times. So hopefully it lands somewhere between what Chase and I think, but I'm not even sure I'm not even sure we have more than 10 years. That's how close we are, in my personal opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. People need to wake up.
Messiah Al-Gaib. Thank you, Honey Badger, for the $20 super chat. They're coming in heavy tonight. Thank you guys for bearing with us for our late start. He says, killer monologue. Deuce Vault. We need to get you on with Joe Rogan,
Deus
Chase.
Vult, it means will of God.
Deus Vault. Sorry, my Latin's non-existent. Seriously, I heard the sirens outside your building. We are in downtown Nashville. There's plenty of sirens.
Once the demand for human labor is eradicated, then the need of working class people is also eradicated. Once the demand for human labor totally goes away, the political class will have no need for working class people. And what do governments or elites do throughout history to an entire class of people that is only a liability without providing any value? What do, Bach?
They first give you bread and circus to anesthetize you, and then they restrict the meat, the protein, and then they cull you. Just like Hillary Clinton. The great culling has begun.
Yeah.
And she said that, back in 2009, bro?
Yeah, and the culling actually started with the massive depopulation here. The culling already started. Now we're just kind of aware that something's really wrong.
Well, you don't slow birth rates and sterilize the whole Western world for no reason. Then you don't import the third world into the first world for no reason. So you're creating this clash of of civilizations. And then in the name of all that disturbance, you offer security. You offer solace. You just keep dangling that carrot until you get to the end of the line. You realize there never was a fucking carrot. Right? Am I waxing poetic enough tonight?
No, you're great. It's just all so heavy. All right, let me hit some of the highlights of the breaking news, and then we'll get into some clips. All right. A prosecutor lasted 54 minutes. Federal judges in Seattle invoked a statute that lets courts fill a U.S. attorney vacancy when the president hasn't nominated anyone, swearing in Roger Rogoff, a former state judge and career federal prosecutor, at 7:40 a.m. Trump fired him 54 minutes later. The seat has had no Senate-confirmed occupant since 2023, and the administration has run the office through a former immigration judge whose interim term expired in February. Rogoff says he will sue. So courts tried to appoint a federal prosecutor. President immediately fired him, saying that that's the president's role, as indicated in the Constitution of the United States of America. And now they're going to battle it out. Two influencers testified about fraud. YouTuber Nick Shirley and James O'Keefe appeared Wednesday before Rand Paul's Senate committee, a day after Vice President JD Vance said the administration owes Shirley a debt of gratitude for exposing one of the worst fraud cases in the country's history. Shirley claims $190 million in suspicious Medicaid and Medicare billing in New York City and $110 million in Minnesota. The Government Accountability Office pegs total annual federal fraud at $233 billion to $521 billion. So the underlying problem is real. The evidence is thinner than the headlines, according to this analysis, but pretty obvious to me. Next, Israel paid Trump's old campaign manager to win back Gen Z. Foreign agent filings reviewed by Time show Brad Parscale, Trump's 2020 campaign manager, now Salem Media's chief strategy officer, collecting $1.5 million a month through the ad agency Havas to run a pro-Israel content operation. 100 pieces a month, 80% aimed at young audiences on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and podcasts, plus an explicit goal of shaping how AI chatbots describe the war. Obviously, it hasn't worked. And finally, Biden wrote a book. Promise Me America is the name of the book, arriving November 17th. 2 weeks after midterms, Democrats are trying to win, which is not the timing party leaders would have chosen. Covers COVID, the economy, Ukraine, and his 2024 withdrawal. He turns 84 3 days later and says his cancer treatment is going well. Critics immediately question how much of it he wrote. Obviously, none of it, since he can't read. So those are the highlights of the breaking news for today.
I would have named it I Got My Butt Wiped, Part 2.
Yeah. I wonder who did write it. Probably the same person that wrote Hunter's book.
Probably the same person that wrote his wife's book, too.
What was her book?
I Wiped His Butt. Part 1.
Seriously, do you remember?
I don't remember. Why the hell would I remember that, dude?
I don't know. But hey, let's get into a few of these clips. I'm going to skip some of the ones that I had about Susie Wiles because they're dated. But let's just start with Rogan, Epstein, Israel.
He had connections to the highest levels of American intelligence. He clearly had connections to the highest levels of Israeli intelligence. In fact, one of the interesting things the Epstein saga reveals about, and I try to make this point, is one of the reasons why I'm always careful, and I say there are some elements within the Israeli government who don't like our peace process, because there are a lot of elements within the Israeli government that actually do like our peace process. They recognize that this indefinite campaign is not good for them either. And the Epstein thing is interesting because as much as I know, Prime Minister Netanyahu, not a particularly popular person in the United States of America right now, Epstein seemed to be connected to the elements of the Israeli deep state that were left of center. Like, I've always found that fascinating. It wasn't like he was super connected to the right of center of Israeli politics. America, he was connected across.
What do you think about that dodge?
I mean, it's not a dodge. It's 70% truth. 50% of that truth you already know.
Yeah, but that's not because he was acting on behalf of leftists. It's just because leftists are more likely to engage in that depravity.
I mean, we have plenty of that. But to say that there isn't enough of that on the right to cause a cause for concern, obviously there is.
Obviously, the right has problems too. But I'm just saying, if you were to take, 5,000 people from the left and 5,000 people from the right, and you were to, poll them or entrap them to go to an island where underage girls would be, or underage whatever would be, I guarantee you that more people from the left would fall for that trap than from the right.
What's the split, though? 60-40?
70-30? Yeah, 70-30.
It's right there. It's enough where you gotta say, fuck both these. Two wings on the same bird.
Yeah. You think it's 50-50?
No, I don't think it's 50-50. I agree with you. More of it's on the left, for sure. But there's so much of it on the right that it's the same fucking thing, ultimately.
Yeah.
Sum total.
JD Vance is angling that Epstein was a leftist. And he was in many ways. I mean, obviously he was pro-pedophilia. He believed in depopulation. He believed in eugenics. He was a globalist. He was a leftist of political persuasion. But I think that his targeting was apolitical. Apolitical is perhaps not the right word. Obviously, it was intentionally political, but it wasn't partisan.
Epstein, to me, has never been... I've never thought of him in a partisan light. He's an opportunist.
Yes.
That's who he is. He's going to go where the opportunity is to get your ass and entrap your ass and extort you. So, yeah, he's probably apolitical. You're not, when you're appointed to be next in line in succession of essentially the modern day Henry Kissinger in a lot of ways with the Rockefeller Foundation, you're above politics.
He's like Henry kissing her.
Yeah. You're above, these are games for the people. They're not. You're apolitical at that point. You're into geopolitics. You're into transnational capital. You're into councils and think tanks that are way above governments at that point. It's all a game within a game to you, and you're running the show. Should we get into the next clip?
Yeah. Pam Bondi said the client list is on my desk, right?
Well, they had binders. They were
100%
standing in
right.
front.
But those binders were largely documents that had already been released, right? So let me try to.
Well, what was the
defend.
purpose of that performative display of the Epstein files?
How can you possibly defend Pam Bondi or the binders or the handling of the Epstein files? He's trying to neutralize it by saying that he was associated with the left. He's trying to say that there was transparency, and he's going to try to say that there's nothing more to be seen here.
He has to run defense. So Vance is the sensible one. He has his ear to the ground. He's going to be the presumed nominee for the Republican Party, probably running, hand in hand with Rubio. It's going to be one or the other. It's looking like Trump's been leaning towards endorsing Vance. So Just Dance Vance has to go out there and dance, and he has to dance his little pants off. So he's trying to hit this head on and get ahead of it. because everyone's still pissed about Epstein. Everyone's pissed about the Iran war. Everyone's pissed that we didn't get the prices we were promised at the grocery store. Everyone's pissed that the agenda has stalled. So that's why he's even doing JRE right now.
And he's been.
I hate to say it, but one of the biggest things is that I'm just going to go based on what Chase said. There's no excuse for it. What he should have said was, no, we actually fucked up. That's what he should have said. We fucked up. If he would have said that, people would have said, okay, you know what? Accountability. But we're not getting the accountability. Just like you just said, the agenda is what? It's stalled. As far as I'm concerned, nothing on the agenda has gone through at this point. Correct me if I'm wrong. The SAVE Act hasn't gone through. Illegal immigration is still running rampant.
The Big Beautiful Bill passed.
Anybody out?
Not that I support it. Big Beautiful Bill passed. And he did stop the bleeding at the border, and he did pardon the J6ers. But your point's well received. I'm just, I'm trying to be fair here and list some things that he did do.
Yeah. Okay. So two on one side and endless amounts on the other. Right?
Yeah. It's definitely handicapped.
This is absolutely ridiculous, especially when it comes down to talking to these people straight away. I talked to somebody that's in the administration, and I told him straight away, you do realize that gas prices still haven't gone down. He looked at me like I was living in some sort of facade. Let me just tell you, gas is still as high as it was 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago, 8 weeks ago. Nothing's changed. It's just gotten worse. This is almost like the 2009 recession numbers, to be honest with you. The economy's just worse.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Check out Vance here talking about Israel.
Why is Israel losing? Why is Israel losing American public opinion?
Well, the narrative is that Israel has a very disproportionate effect on American politics.
Yeah, I see that. I see that narrative. I mean, I actually think that they look. Do they try to influence American politics? Yes, but like I said earlier, a lot of other countries do. I think
to the extent that Israel does,
I think some are better at it than others. I think the Israelis are definitely more effective at it than most, but I wouldn't say that they're the only effective country by any means that tries to influence American politics. I just think you have to be self-aware about it. I mean, why wouldn't you? It's a country of 9 million people. We have 330 million people. And so, of course, they're going to try to persuade Americans. They're going to try to move Americans in one direction or another. I think that's just the nature of the beast.
Shout out Honey Badger, thank you for the $5 super chat. He says Vance came off as sensible, but I think it's just a good cop, bad cop thing. I'm in your corner with that one. The China shill is back, but I agree with him on this. So when it comes to Trump, we seem to have gotten about 3 to 4 good months where maybe it was just a push to deceive us, but he did stop the bleeding at the border.
I loved it. He signed all the best executive orders, and then when he saw the intelligence that was actually behind all of them, whether it was MLK, JFK, UFO related, Epstein related, he just totally buckled.
Something happened in the agenda, and we've been covering whether Butler was faked. We've been covering whether Trump is in the Epstein list. There's so much information than disinformation. There's so much flash and then no substance. And my verdict, the jury's still open, in my opinion, whether he was totally co-opted, and this has all been a big deception from the start, because people in chat have brought up a good point too. He's responsible for Operation Warp Speed. He's responsible for putting in Amy Coney Barrett. He's responsible for so many.
Fauci.
Well, yeah, we could have gotten Barbara Lagoa, like I said on Timcast. Hardliner came from has a
He's
Cuban.
responsible for Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, Pam Bondi, Anthony Fauci.
He's owning this cover-up at this point.
Yep, he did Warp Speed vaccine and never apologized for the outcome of the vaccines.
Heavily involved in Operation Q.
Obviously responsible for the war in Iran that's escalated. Failed to stop the war between Russia and Ukraine. Said he was going to solve it on day one.
He didn't just fail, he's expanded it.
Yep.
Something Biden didn't even do.
Yep.
Interior strikes into Russia's
failed to tackle inflation, and this is kind of a taboo to say. It's certainly something people avoided saying during the campaign. But most of the inflation that we experienced under the Biden administration was actually a Latin response to the 40% of all U.S. dollars that were printed during the Trump administration. Correct. So most of that inflation was actually Trump's fault. I didn't want to blame Trump at the time, though I was aware of this fact because, that printing and some of those monetary policies were in response to a massive pandemic. But the pandemic wasn't actually massive. The harm of the pandemic was the response to it.
And another thing no one points out is Trump 1, Trump 2 is when all these weird-ass diseases started popping up. We had COVID-19, obviously, under Trump, and then now we're getting the alpha-gal ticks. Now we're getting the hookworm, screwworms. Now we're getting all the weird
Taco Bell diarrhea that everybody's getting.
I have that. We'll be covering that shortly too. The explosive diarrhea. Bring your wet wipes to work, folks, because if you get a bad Chipotle, ooh, you're gonna be in fucking trouble. Bring the wet wipes. You'll thank me later.
I'm pissed off about the fact that China intentionally allowed COVID-19 to spread internationally after they discovered that it was spreading domestically, and they were never held accountable in any way, shape, or form for that. We just let countries like China get away with murdering millions upon millions of people and causing almost the entire collapse of the global economy. Makes me think that maybe we allowed Russia to get away with, murdering Lindsey Graham.
I mean, if that's true. I
don't know.
I hate to say it, but you might be onto something here. The backing of the intelligence, and as much as we keep finding out day by day or week by week, it's starting to really lead up to, hey, like, I think you guys are actually really lying to us on a massive scale. And the only reason why you're actually not telling us the truth is because it would actually cause absolute panic in the craziest way.
I mean, Butler's being covered up. Charlie Kirk's being covered up.
Who stops the investigation to their own assassination attempt?
I don't know a single president or anybody that I know that's ever done that, just to be truthful. I've never heard that before.
Well, when was the last time you seen a president survive other than Reagan, an assassination attempt? They've been successful for the most part. Which
McKinley?
Who tried to kill him?
Was it McKinley or was it Garfield?
Who's the
Garfield survived his own.
Yeah, Garfield.
Okay.
He got shot and gave a speech before he went to the doctor.
You can't kill a bull moose? I thought that was Roosevelt.
You're conflating.
Okay.
Garfield got shot, gave a speech, and I think he survived, right? Or he died a few days later. I can't remember. My history is not as good as it should be. But, yeah, no.
He gave the speech and died a few days later.
Is that right?
Andrew Jackson?
Yeah.
My favorite Jackson.
Yeah, the guy that tried to assassinate him, but it was raining outside, so his gunpowder got wet, and the guns didn't go off, and Jackson beat the shit out of him with his cane.
My favorite president's Andrew Jackson.
Dude, he looks exactly like my late grandmother.
Andrew Jackson does?
Exactly identical.
I heard he was Korean.
Yeah. Rooftop Korean. All right, let's move on. We got to talk a little bit about the SAVE Act here.
It's just very disheartening.
Save these nuts.
You have to consider the fact
this one's 5 minutes, so we can pause it if we want.
It's really possible that the elections get stolen. And the California one was a big one for me.
And why not just have mail-in, or why not just have voter ID?
Yeah. That's
saw,
insane. Not only did they not have voter ID, you can't show your ID. You're not allowed to show your ID.
You can, in fact, be prosecuted if you try to force somebody to show their ID.
Seems like you want people to cheat.
Exactly. Yeah.
And this is from the same people that were saying you have to have an ID that shows you've been vaccinated just 4 years ago to go to
grocery shopping or to go to a restaurant. Yeah. No, it's definitely, that's the part about it that I think makes most people of my political persuasion skeptical of what the Democrats are doing.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't want to cheat in the election, then just make everybody actually show an ID. What I think people don't realize is
this is all talk. I mean, Vance probably believes this, at least on some level, but I've heard the same bullshit for decades now in the United States of America. Voter ID. Every other democracy has, proof of citizenship requirements for all their elections. Why can't we do it in the United States of America? And yeah, I agree rhetorically with everything that you're saying, but you're going to tell me that Israel's influence on American politics is excusable because they're a nation of 9 million people. We have 350 million people. You're going to tell me that Israel's influence is exaggerated and not actually manipulating the outcome of our elections? When AIPAC funds congressional races to the extent of tens of millions of dollars in certain specific instances, namely Thomas Massey's race. So you're going to bitch to me about the fact that the Democrats are denying voter ID so you can look to the American people as if you believe in the integrity of elections, but then you're going to accept AIPAC money from a foreign lobby as if that's a fair election?
Is it true that the merger of our Section 224, they got renamed to 219.
Yeah.
That it got blocked. I got an update.
It got Shit. We should actually get to the bottom of that.
It got blocked
Narrowly,
56
right?
to 43. Yeah, it was very, very slim. But I here's the thing, and I know Chase is gonna love me for saying he's gonna have a big grin on his face. I know, Bach, you're gonna love this. Every single person that voted yes should be voted out.
Yep.
Bottom line, because that means that you're not for America first. Bottom line, that means that you're absolutely not for it.
Firing
That
squad,
should
dude.
be
Firing
exactly.
squad.
That should be
That's treason.
That should be a green light.
Well, dude, we got a second chance though at life. Shout out Honey Badger, thank you for the $5 super chat. He said Teddy Roosevelt was also shot. His glasses case saved him while taking the brunt, but he finished his speech while bleeding with a bullet in him. Yeah, that's what I was saying. You can't kill this bull moose. Yep, thank you very much for that.
Section 219, formerly 224 of the FY 2027 NDAA HR 8800 House version, creates the United States Israel Defense Technology Cooperation Initiative. Wow, that's a mouthful. Looks like funding tie-in, oversight, context, latest status. The House Armed Services Committee advanced the bill in early June. It faces procedural hurdles and opposition. There's bipartisan pushback, obviously, from Thomas Massey and Ro Khanna. We already know that. Debate continues. It's still advancing. I don't think I have the latest information here. I just wanted to get all the facts straight.
Well, it went to the Senate, and that's where it got turned down at. So it got to the House somehow. So,
And it
There's
happened
that.
from 4 senators abstaining from the from voting, if I'm correct here. They didn't want to
Yes.
be on the record either way. Whew, talk about saved by the bell, motherfuckers. Holy shit. Saved by the hairs on her chinny chin chin. But how long till
somehow,
they
some way,
reintroduce
that's
it?
going to pass. Exactly. I was going to say, somehow, some way that's going to...
Yeah.
It's going to get snuck into something that we don't see. And then next thing you know, it's going to get through the House, get through the Senate. And then somehow, some way, everybody's going to say, wait, we didn't see that in the fine print. Boom.
I think
can
you're
foresee
100% right. They propose an omnibus bill where they sneak in all this pork, all this deceptive bullshit.
And they'll call it the Veterans Relief Fund, and it'll allocate some money to the VFW or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And then when people vote against it, they'll say, "Oh, you don't like our veterans."
I mean, that's how they always do it.
And it'll pass in a landslide too. And we'll be like, how did everybody vote for this? I can foresee that. And then, to be honest with you, I truly do believe that that's how they got the big beautiful bill across.
Yeah, it'll be
A
called
lot of people
the
didn't-
Epstein Transparency Act, and anybody who votes against it is covering up for Epstein.
Yep. And then everybody's gonna say, "Oh, well, I'm not gonna cover up for this guy." Next thing you know, boom! Next, you're gonna have Israeli troops on American streets. Just what's gonna happen. It's almost, you can almost foresee it.
I mean, in the age of AI, though, we can do what senators can't do, which is scan an omnibus bill in seconds now, right?
Yeah, 100%.
So there's
Yeah,
no
but
excuse for
people
these
made- people-
senators.
But that's the thing. People made noise about the big beautiful bill as well, and
Yeah,
that
especially
didn't
Elon
really-
Musk.
Yeah, that didn't really, didn't really get too far, and a lot of people are making a lot of noise about the Save Act. It's still in the same spot that it's been. I don't know if that's really going to make a difference now. Honestly, I don't think it will. I think it really matters, to what Chase said. How much money are they going to throw at people to vote for it?
Yeah, well, and if
all of
it
these
passes,
elections.
all the leftist states will just make it even easier for illegals to get an ID. So illegals just show
No,
up.
but this is the one silver lining here. The NDAA was so unpopular with the populace that the longer, they had to get this through on the first chance before all this opposition would start really mounting. And if there was this much opposition up front, it's only going to grow down the line. So they're going to have to sneak it and hide it. But then that's when we're here, like little sneaky snake. We're like, you motherfuckers put it in the Repairing Cleft Lips Act. You motherfuckers put it in the Replacing Children's Limbs Blown Off Act.
Inshallah.
So we'll be there. It's going to get harder and harder to pass this. And it's going to get harder to sneak this little bitch around. That's just my take on it.
I didn't realize until a couple years ago, the voter ID solves a lot of the mail-in ballot problem, because if you have to show an ID in order to get a mail-in ballot, in order to actually, confirm that there's a real identification attached to that vote, that solves a big chunk of the problem
This
too.
is just logical.
Yes.
I'm not.
Every country does it.
I'm not skeptical. I'm accusing them. I think they stole the election.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I think it's common. And this idea that elections can't be stolen. I always say to people, okay, Do you think that the amount of election fraud is 0%? No one thinks that.
Yeah.
No one thinks it's zero.
Exactly.
There's always some overzealous person that works somewhere that's doing something. There's always crazy people that
Correct.
like blue no matter who, we got to win, or red no matter what. There's always people, right and left, that are going to try to rig the election because they think it's imperative. Look, we saw. There was people like Oprah Winfrey was saying it. Like, if we don't win this election, you may never vote again. Like,
Yep.
what the fuck are you talking about? Like, why? Who's going to tolerate that?
That's
Left
right.
or right? That's crazy.
That's right.
But that attitude allows people to justify cheating.
Correct.
So they've apparently already married Section 219 to the SAVE Act. So now if you vote against...
Oh my, that
if you
fucking
vote
quickly?
against it, yeah, that's what it says on Claude. I use Claude instead of Grok. I'm getting better answers. All right, so here's what happened. July 14th through 15th, the House passed a new rule, 215 to 211, bundling the Save America Act into the NDAA. Then reportedly passed the combined bill, 217 to 209 on yesterday, I guess, technically, sending it to the Senate. Massey voted no.
When did this happen? Because they
Wednesday, so like 12 hours ago.
like 12 hours?
Yeah.
Holy shit, that was quick.
Massey calls it an unprecedented escalation of foreign involvement in the U.S. military, arguing it goes well beyond Five Eyes or conventional partnerships. Obviously, we know the criticisms. Massey's amendment zeroing out $3.3 billion in Israeli security aid failed, 104 to 314, but 103 Democrats backed it, including Pelosi and Whip Catherine Clark, while Jeffries voted no. Next stop is the Senate, where 1217 is stalled at cloture. Any final differences get settled in conference. Does that line up with what you think, Jordan?
Yeah, I think they're going to try and sit here and bundle it into something. And a lot of the stuff that we're voting against, it'll slowly get snuck in without us really knowing. And eventually everybody will say, wait a second, once it's already too late. I'm almost 100% positive. Because I hate to say it, but they keep throwing a lot of shit in our face.
They're going to marry it to the SAVE Act, and they're going to try to. And if they pass the SAVE Act, they're going to say that they saved the elections, but really what they did was sell us out to Israel.
Well, the crazy thing here no one talks about, too, is 38 states already have anti-Semitism laws on the books, where if you're a contractor, you will never get another government contract, and it actually becomes a felony in some of these states to even have
There's got to be a
anti-Semitic
statute of
remarks.
limitations, though. Otherwise, Hugo Boss would never get a contract.
When's the last time anyone's worn Hugo Boss?
1945.
Exactly. I'd seen Hugo Boss make a cologne like in Jay-Z Penny.
Their shit looks good, though. 15
years ago. But is like if there is a merger that passes through and they sneak it through, being anti-Semitic will be going against the United States military also. And that's a point that no one makes.
That's a good point.
Which means you could essentially be labeled a hostile combatant at some point. I guess just keep drinking your White Claws. Get that white girl buzz going.
I think they cheat. And I think they've been doing it forever. And I don't think there's any other reason why you would have no voter ID. And they try to say, oh, it's racist to have voter ID. Like, what are you talking about? Do you think other races are incapable of going to the DMV? That's insane.
Yeah, it's
racist.
It's actually super racist.
That's really racist.
Right, the implication of their argument is literally like blacks and Hispanics cannot.
So they go on to talk all the talking points about why there should be voter ID and why saying there shouldn't be voter ID is just cheating and excuses and gaslighting. But we've heard it over and over again. I mean, the fact of the matter is, who gives a fuck whether there's voter ID if all the elections are bought and paid for by AIPAC? You know AIPAC wants voter ID because the illegals are less likely to vote in support of Israel. The leftists are less likely to vote in support of Israel. So they want voter ID, and then they want massive AIPAC funding. And they want a controlled populace that they can just manipulate, that evangelical base that has an ID.
Thank you, Honey Badger, for the super chat. He says the new PGA game has Hugo Boss clothing in it. So I guess they're in golf attire. I didn't know that. They go from Nazi attire to golf attire. For me, like I've been saying to you for the past month, there is no political solution to a spiritual problem. The only thing we're going to have to do is get organized, become ungovernable, dissent, do not comply. It's just going to get worse and worse, guys. So, like you see the deflock movement. You see what's happening here. I'm not endorsing for or against. Do whatever go where your own discretion takes you. But you're going to see more and more movements like this pop up. And maybe that's the answer.
Let's hit this clip of Shirley on the Medicaid fraud exposure.
In this area, you have these adult daycares. They're like play date centers for seniors.
Yeah,
for
so if they don't
Koreans.
want to be alone in their house and they're picked up at their home and taken to this center.
Exactly, and we pay for it. And then right around them, they have all these pharmacies set up. They have all these durable medical equipment companies set up. And it's just like this big racket where they start billing all of these people with these medical beneficiary numbers from these seniors, from these adult daycares. And because they make so much money from Medicaid, they're then able to give kickbacks to the seniors. So you have these Korean and Chinese mafias, quite literally, looting the government from Medicaid and then giving the kickbacks to the seniors.
So wait, the old people get money themselves?
Well, they make they make so much money, these pharmacies and these adult daycares, that they then have a little referral program set up for these seniors. So it's like, bring in a friend, we'll give you $100. Thank you for coming. Here's your $25.
It's good money if you can get it. I guess so. When you see this, and it's so pervasive, what can be done to put an end to this? Because this seems like the biggest entrepreneurial activity of certain immigrant classes now. I mean, this is a big business for the immigrant community.
Yeah, it's fraudpreneurship.
For entrepreneurs.
Correct. I mean, $700 million in cash flowing out of the Minneapolis airport back to, countries in Africa. Have either of you gentlemen kind of investigated the foreign sourcing or an organization of a lot of this fraud? I mean, we're opening up to foreign governments to fund their own operations.
Well, yeah, it's been proven that a lot of the money in suitcases that left Minnesota went back into the hands of people inside Somalia. And for instance, in New York City, where I just did an expose exposing this adult daycare fraud, nobody at these daycares actually knows who the owner is. A lot of them had just been hired within the past month. In Miami, you have the Cuban government running these DME companies that are fleecing and quite literally looting from Medicaid. A lot of foreign governments have infiltrated our Medicaid because it's so simple and so easy to defraud.
By the way, we know it's $700 million because government watched it go out. They let it go. They didn't even put the IRS on the case. It's truly remarkable what we're allowing to happen here. So again, Mr. Chairman, I commend you, like Senator Ernst did, for holding this hearing, and Ashley Moody. This is an incredibly important hearing, and it speaks volumes that only the ranking member showed up to.
So there you have it. Massive fraud was discovered. Nothing is going to fucking happen.
Thank you, Colby, for the super chat. She says, brick by brick. My main knock on Shirley, I actually think a lot of people think he's a Fed plant. I think he is indirectly. I think he's the victim of a limited hangout operation where they have us focused on the tens of millions to even hundreds of millions while they're stealing fucking trillions.
Yeah. Yeah. What about the massive theft that was printing 40% of all dollars ever printed in a 4-year period?
Yeah, just
All of
devaluing
all
all
of our buying
savings
power just evaporated.
in history.
What about the fact that 40% of everything Americans make is taken by the government via taxation?
Massive inflation, then you swing the pendulum the other way, massive deflation.
Yep.
So you're fucked if you have a house note. If you saved your whole life, you had all your equity in your house appreciating, good luck.
I'm just fucking done. I'm so fucking done. Dude.
Done with what?
The whole fucking thing. Trying to fix the relationship between the American people and its government. Trying to heal the government. Trying to eradicate corruption. I'm fucking done. It's not fucking fixable. It's over, dude. It's fucking over, man.
And we're not coming from a black pilling perspective. We're coming from realistic analysis, correct?
Yeah, I'm not negative. I'm an optimistic person. But
it's over, man.
when you have the Vice President of the United States of America talking about the SAVE Act after it's just been married to fucking Section 219 where we merge Israel's military with our military. And then you have him going up there and talking about how important it is that we have IDs in our elections. Of course, I agree with that in principle. And then you talk about the massive government fraud. What was ever fucking done after all the Doge findings? Doge got shut down faster than a fucking Windows 98.
And then expired, too.
Yeah, and then it totally expired. Nobody prosecuted. How many people have gone to prison because of the fraud that was found? An estimated $500 billion a year in government fraud. Nobody ever fucking goes to prison. How many people went to prison for the collapse of the entire economy in 2008? Fucking no one, dude. How many people went to prison other than Ghislaine because of the Epstein human trafficking fucking cabal? No one. How many people went to prison for the fact that it was a massive lie that we had weapons of mass destruction in Iraq? We went in for no reason, maiming tens of thousands of our own, not to mention all the torture that we committed, catalyzing, generating, manifesting countless millions of new terrorists. How many people went to prison for the fact that we just bombed the fuck out of Gaza? Not that I'm any friend of Gaza, but Jesus Christ, I don't want to pay to bomb them. Nobody ever fucking goes to prison except for people that got a little rowdy at a protest on January 6th.
We go into the Capitol.
Yeah, it's bullshit. And the whole fucking thing's entrapment the whole time. And we're bitching about $198 million in New York City fraud. First of all, those fucking immigrants shouldn't even be there. Why aren't they deported? How come nobody goes to prison? When the real fraud is the $40 trillion of debt. And then all the money printed, devaluing buying power for the American people, while that government money, via our taxes, is used to fund technology to eradicate the demand for our labor altogether.
And it seems like we only go after the fraud they don't control.
Dude,
that money comes right back to the main bucket.
Our relationship with the United States government as the people, the people's relationship with the government of the United States of America is just like that famous image of the snake eating its own tail.
The oral
be just blasting news.
Well, they
about
could
a
have
foreign
bombed that
senator.
drone factory in the associated hotel where the envoy was staying. They could have bombed that at any point.
Yeah.
The fact that it happened in that window of when he was in the country.
So if it happened while he was there, then it was on purpose.
Of course, it's a message.
Yeah. And then that explains the propaganda campaign in the aftermath.
And Honey Badger, thank you for the super chat. He says, this is why Chase in the real top G. You're top G, bro.
Fuck yeah, baby.
Hell
Honey Badger,
yeah.
give me $6 million.
Yeah. Pony, give me $6 million.
Where's Jay Wynn?
Daycare fraud. We don't need Jay Wynn. We appreciate Jay Wynn, but we have our core fan base here. We our viewers fuck with us, and we appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah, well, I hit all the clips that I'd prepared and all the major news stories that are trending that I wanted to hit. Basically, folks, we're totally fucked, and the only thing you can do about it is pray to God and fight back.
We're not ever totally fucked.
Yeah, we are. We've been totally fucked since we ate that fig off that tree.
Some people say it was a mushroom. Others claim it was an apple. You think it was a fig? You think Eve got tempted?
Well,
with
first
a
of all, it
fig?
just says a fruit in the Bible, so it's not specific. And if you believe that Eden was likely in the Tigris-Euphrates region, then it wasn't an apple. It was probably a fig.
Wow, you just blew my fucking mind.
They use the fig stuff as their underwear, right? Like the coverings that they made out of the.
The
tree.
fig leaf.
Yes.
That makes sense.
Shout out, Maze. I didn't even know you were in here. Thank you for coming by and gracing us with your beauty and intellect.
Shut the fuck up,
My
Buck.
pleasure. Stop hating Chase down.
Yeah, seriously, you gotta gas him up. I wanted to cover clip 103 if we could.
You know what I'd rather do? I'd rather open up a fucking daycare.
No, you don't want that, bro. You don't want to live that life of.
Dude, let's be those people. You can't beat them, just join them. That's what I'm going to do.
You would end up in prison.
I'm opening up a daycare. Joe Biden can move in, do a little book signing with crayons.
With crayons.
Ooh.
What the hell did you say? Crayons?
Crayons.
Yeah, that's not how that's pronounced.
That's how you say it in the Midwest.
It's no.
In the Midwest, you call
Well, they're
crayons
all
crayons.
dumb then. And infested with hookworms.
It's like transgender.
All right, dude. We're not even... Can we play clip 103?
Yes, we can.
This is Greg Reese.
Okay.
Shout out to Greg Reese.
Cameras. Axon Fleet dash cam.
I like how Greg Reese is exposing how fucked up flock cameras are without mentioning the fact that why the fuck do we have to register our vehicles at all? You know, it's like flock cameras are tracking and cataloging everyone's license plate on their car. It's illegal, unlawful surveillance. Agreed. Why the fuck do we have license plates? This is the thing, man. This is the erosion of liberty. Like, they do one thing, you notice it at first, and then they do something slightly worse, so you forget the last thing.
Yeah, it's called habituation.
Yeah, I mean, federal income tax was 1%.
And it wasn't even, they still to this day claim it's not mandatory.
Have you ever seen a picture of Roosevelt's first tax return?
Let me shout out real quick. Thank you, Colby Upston, for the super chat. She said the word evil came from the name Eve.
Wow.
Yep. You know, the reptile in the Garden of Eden targeted her because she was naive.
Yeah, and then fucked her, and that's Cain. Cain was descended from the evil one.
Yeah, he's a hermaphrodite.
Yeah. Roosevelt's first tax return is 2 pages. It's 1 page of the fields that he had to fill out. And then on the back, if you flip it over, it's blank, and he did some handwritten arithmetic to calculate how much he owed. And the tax rate was 1%.
They didn't have income tax in his day, though, did they?
Yeah, Roosevelt, his
I
first
thought they
tax
instituted
returns.
that in the 50s.
No, income tax was with the establishment of the Federal Reserve Bank.
In 1913?
Yes, and it was only 1%, and it was over like a massive minimum threshold. So like nobody paid it, and then they just eke it up and eke it up and eke it up and eke it up.
The answer here is if you just go analog, get an old-fashioned dishwasher, an old-fashioned washer dryer, drive an older model car. Don't get the newest iPhone. Just stick with the generation you have, obviously, because they made it necessary for work and life and society, involvement in American society. But the more we go analog...
I disagree with you. I don't think that's going to solve shit.
No, but it'll slow it down.
No.
Shouldn't we put an obstacle up? What, do you want to give them the path right up to our asshole?
I think you got to take the opposite approach. You know how in Terminator 2, Terminator had been reprogrammed to protect, what's his face?
John Connor,
right? So the first one, Terminator, was Arnold Schwarzenegger. He was just bad, right? Second one, Terminator had been reprogrammed to protect John Connor against a newer version of Terminator, right? That was more dangerous, deadly, whatever. We have to reprogram Terminator to work on our behalf. When they weaponize AI against us, we don't retreat into the caves and start using telegrams again and fucking, mailing birds, right? We weaponize artificial intelligence against them. We have to innovate faster than they can regulate.
why can't we do both? Mass adoption of analog, plus we have our savants.
Imagine you've got the
going high
fucking.
tech.
Imagine you've got the analog dishwasher. You don't have a smart TV. You've got all your stuff dialed in. You're doing exactly what you said. You're using an old school flip phone. You can remove the battery, and it's tech that existed before the government figured out how to turn on your phone without a battery. But you're sitting across the table from me, and I've got my iPhone on the table. They got you, dude.
Just being in proximity of someone who hasn't adopted an analog lifestyle.
Yeah, dude. Every room that we go in, there's a microphone. There's a microphone in the elevator in this building because you have to make an emergency call. There's microphones in all the cameras in the hallway. Obviously, there's microphones in here. Every smart TV at every house you go to, every restaurant you go to, there's flock cameras everywhere. There's satellite technology that can, see a zit on your nose from lower Earth orbit, right? They got all your medical records. Even if you didn't give your blood or your DNA to 23andMe or another one of these conglomerates, if you've ever had your blood drawn, it's somewhere. Then go through your trash and get your DNA, put it on.
Yeah, people always seem to forget that, like, they can, all it takes is the distance of your Wi-Fi to track you through the house. So like this has been going on forever. There's no way that you can say, okay, we're gonna dial back time. I'm sorry, but
and that's
the
why I
whole
don't really
world's
care
too
about the
reliant
flock
on
camera
it.
thing. That's why I'm like,
Yeah,
all right,
I don't
it
care.
sucks, but like I'm carrying a flock camera in my pocket.
Rance, you don't need to raise your hand. You can just unmute and speak freely.
I've been trying to tell people this for the longest time. It's not the fact that, oh my God, we're fucked. It's just like, oh my God, there's nothing you can really do about it. We're actually too far on the pendulum of the swing to say, okay, let's dial it back. At this point, we need to actually, like I always tell everybody, use technology against the technology, innovate past it. So that way we're like, okay, here's what we have. Guess what? This is what we're going to do about it. There's no way, shape, and form that you're going to sit there and say, oh, yeah, we're going to go back to analog everything. Dude, the whole economy of the world would crash.
I mean,
Nobody
Jordan,
would know where their oil is on a ship.
a little bit of pushback
Like-
here, though. The Amish have done it, right? And they're prospering because of it. So I envision a future where we do both. We merge. Like, listen, are we ever going to bring a bug device into the hideout when the loitering drones are using thermal vision and hunting us down? No, they're going to be like, dude, you just allowed them to discover our whole base. So we're going to have to do both.
See, but I think the exception with I take your point about the Amish, but the exception with the Amish, I think, is that they don't attempt like a compromise or a middle ground. You either abandon it all and you go full existential, Walden or Amish, or you embrace it 100%. But like you try to do this middle ground, a small leak will sink a great ship. And there's no way that you can think of and manage all of the ways to protect your privacy. There's always going to be some small leak that you overlooked that is just going to make all of your other efforts moot. You know?
And I hate to say it, but like before the flock cameras, there were speed traps. And those speed traps from from there where they mark your license plate, like I always tell somebody, like the first thing that I ever noticed was when I had to go and find my car because it got stolen, and the cop was able to find exactly where that car was in less than 2 minutes. We don't have flock cameras where I live. They found it in 2 minutes. That's it. Just typed it into a laptop.
Yeah.
There's absolutely no way, shape, and form that you can sit there and say, like, oh, yeah, we're just going to go back. No. There is I'm sorry, but there is no going back.
When I lived in Orange County, California for a couple of years back in 2019, Jordan, you'll get a kick out of this. We had a family friend who was very wealthy, formerly a CEO of a major tech company, hardware company. And, their family went on an elaborate vacation, which is something that wealthy people do in Orange County. And while they were gone, a gang of very well coordinated, very well practiced, very well rehearsed South American young men with masks and flashlights to lens flare the security cams, all that stuff, hand signals, broke into their house and stole $1 million worth of jewelry. These people they've been wealthy for a long time. It didn't come from money, but they'd earned a lot of money, and they're in their 60s. And so it was like 50 years or 40 years of jewelry that they'd accrued. And it added up to $1 million. They stole them right out of the safe. So cops don't do anything. Obviously, nobody does anything. I run a Facebook lead generation ad targeting people who speak Spanish recently at their house address, saying in Spanish, we pay cash for jewelry, and showing images of jewelry very similar to that which was stolen. And the motherfuckers filled out the form because they had their phones on them when they raided the house. Facebook had the data that they were recently there and they spoke Spanish. They saw the ads from the targeting. They filled out the form, turned them in. The cops never arrested them. My point is that was 7 years ago. No flock camera. Facebook had the data of exactly who was where when. There hasn't been privacy for a very long time.
Yeah, but that's a defeatist attitude. The greatest attribute that God gave man was our ability to adapt and use our inherent ingenuity.
I think maybe we should retreat from Stalingrad. That's a defeatist attitude.
That is such
I think maybe we shouldn't invade Russia in the winter. That's a defeatist attitude.
No. You're talking about strategic objectives in World War II and whether you should commit or overcommit or not commit. I'm saying we should have a hybrid thinking approach and attitude.
I'm saying that if we're fucking serious,
Jordan's going to go transhumanist. We'll send him in as a killer robot.
If we're serious, we would make an organized, coordinated effort for tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, ideally millions of Americans, to max out all of their credit and declare bankruptcy to bring down the financial system.
Yeah, that lady with the fake tits did it like 4 times.
Yeah.
Remember? She went viral on TikTok.
I know what you're talking about. But the real solution is Fight Club.
Oh, Fight Club was way ahead of its time.
That's
so
the
was
real
The
solution.
Matrix also.
You know? They automatically take all of your money from your income if you're an employee, right? Through automatic withholding for taxes, legally required. If you're a small business owner, you can technically not pay your taxes because they don't automatically take it. But that's such a small percentage of the population compared to the employed class, right? So we're not going to win this conflict against our deep state by simply voluntarily not paying income tax because we already don't voluntarily pay it. It's taken. The only way we can win is if we bring down the infrastructure of the financial system, and that is by going to the bank all at the same time, all within the same 6 months, millions of people, maxing out your credit cards, maxing out your personal loans, and then immediately declaring bankruptcy.
Fuck looks maxing, debt maxing, baby.
Debt max.
Yeah.
100%.
Who's going to be our debt maxing clavicular?
Yep. You either do that or you just refuse on a moral basis to get into any debt ever whatsoever at all.
Well, don't forget that DARPA report that I was talking about. What's the future? Flash mobs, drone swarms, and brain chips. We have a unique opportunity in history to flash mob different sectors of the economy, different sectors of intellectual thinking. We do have an opening here, dude. Like, if you're not, every little bit counts. You should be buying gold and silver and even copper bullion. You should be
Do you
putting
think anybody
your
is
savings
going
into
to give
that.
a fuck about gold in the apocalypse?
No, but that is the
Let me ask you this.
alternative economy.
Do you think somebody in a gulag would rather have a can of Campbell's or a bar of gold?
Well, that's the next thing I was going to say. Yes, hey, we're going to go by past history, right? Has gold never had intrinsic value as a financial instrument?
Has gold ever not had intrinsic value?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When?
On the Titanic.
No.
Nobody gave a shit about gold when that boat was going down. All they wanted was a life jacket and a lifeboat.
Okay, so before and after. That's a very... In my concentration camp. That's where they are. Rance, you can speak freely. You don't have to raise your hand, Rance. Last time I said.
You know, hey, I'm a polite dude, right? But you know, like flock cameras, bro, they've already like rebranded and moved on from that. They started this thing called WM Smart Vehicle Programs. You heard of that?
No. Enlighten me.
All right. So this shit's crazy. I just ran across this like a couple weeks ago, but apparently what they're doing is they're putting cameras on top of trash trucks now. And the trash trucks are just filming 24/7 as they're going through neighborhoods day in and day out. And their sole objective is to spy on your house and your housing permits and your homeowners association so they can make sure that you're not doing upgrades and permits to your housing. And so it's meant to also secure and surveil real-time crime, right? So they can just like pinpoint trash, units that have been in the area that may or may not see things that, normal cameras that are stationary that would see. So they're linking in this new program. I think they started it in Florida and Georgia, but it's going to replace flock cameras here because you can't destroy them because they're on, mostly public vehicles or private vehicles through like trash services.
I hate to say it, Rance, but like, does that even matter when like they said they have satellites that can read they have satellites they have satellites that can read your ID?
No. This is even crazier, bro.
But satellites are going around the planet. Just one satellite goes around every 90 minutes. They can map the whole Earth in like literally a day or two.
Yeah,
and if they really want to zoom in, I mean,
okay, look, and they're not doing it to survey you. They're doing it to survey your house and your surroundings. So let's say you paint your house.
The fucking deep state is going to report you to the HOA.
Fuck yes, they are. Hell yes, they are, bro.
I fucking hate the HOA, man. It's the Gestapo.
And then, like, say you put new trim on a child when they can just come at you.
Tuna casserole!
And you're paying for this fucking service. Okay, you're paying for your trash service that's now going to rat on you. Your neighbors, you thought your neighbors or you had like some crazy, HOA person was your nightmare. Wait till AI starts automating.
No garbage truck on Epstein's Island.
Oh, you're about to get smashed.
No garbage truck on Jared Kushner's Island. No garbage truck on Mark Zuckerberg's Island.
We have a very unique opportunity here, though. You are dealing with the end of a cycle that has been habituated to comfort and convenience. With hard times comes an opening, guys. Like people, you're gonna see the modern day equivalent of coupon clipping. You're gonna see the modern day equivalent of people making their own clothes again. You're gonna see the modern day equivalent of people choosing to use different modes of transport because gas is too expensive. And that's what comes with austerity. So when they impose hard times on us, that's an actual blessing, which is what I'm talking about. This is an ancient recipe I'm talking about.
The English don't let us trade with swords.
You
so
invest in bullion while you have the opportunity to. You invest in beans and bullets while you have the opportunity
and that reminds me of Chase's, no offense, dumbass comment of let's bankrupt a country. You know how much money it would take for us to bankrupt a country, Chase? I'm just saying, okay, we're $18 trillion in household debt, $1.7 trillion in credit card debt, and we couldn't max out, the poorest of us maxed out enough to even hit a 10%, toilet paper fee for the top three main equity firms in the United States. I'm just saying it's a great thought process, bro. I love it. I say let's all just like dead them out, but in that case, then we might as well just own nothing and be happy because we just gave them the free card to just steal all of our shit.
Yeah, we have to start wiping our ass with pine cones again, guys. Callus that little butthole. Get ready for the hard times.
Those
and
are just my ladybugs.
If you prepare ahead of time, those hard times won't be so hard for you. Like Rance knows this. He lives in Alaska. Remember we were talking to Cullen, who you wrote a book for? He still goes and gets game. I had delicious venison the other day, and the guy was so proud because he's like, I killed it myself.
All of the game had been hunted within 6 months of the Great Depression.
Yeah, but did it get that's not an excuse not to acquire the skills. It's not.
Well, now that you know a Persian, you don't have to use pine cones. You just use one of those little plant water things.
Whatever happened to Persia?
It's getting bombed by the United States because we have escalation dominance and they have strategic dominance. What do you mean? Speaking of, have you seen all the news going down, dude? Bahrain just got hit. Kuwait just got hit. Obviously, Yemen and Saudi Arabia are going back and forth. So my whole guess was wrong. We're not getting a short-term, short-duration ceasefire. It's expanding very quickly right now, which is even more pertinent to what I'm saying. Get ready. We see this hard landing, this crash landing coming, guys. It's not hopeless. Dude, it's not.
There's no preparing.
You'll never be fully prepared, but you could be more prepared.
Reserves. We're 11 weeks out of reserves, and we have less than 14 days of reserves in diesel, when we used to have a year and a half, and we used to have over 90 days. So just wrap your head. We have no buffer. Hurricane season on top of this war is coming up, bro. It's a perfect, I'm just saying, perfect mixture.
It's not outrageous to propose we get bicycles. Use your Chevrolets. Use your Lexus. Get used to it.
Man, if that didn't just make me laugh so hard, dude, because the city of Anchorage literally spent $36 million in advertising saying that we should ride our bikes in the middle of winter.
Your commute's about to get a lot longer, Rance. Just embrace it. It's all right. Life will get slower. We'll find peace and solace. We'll have a connection to our community again. When's the last time anyone's knocked on their next door neighbor's door?
I'm not riding my bike, bro. Not happening. But if you want to move up here,
well, the anti-technology movement has started.
If you don't mind, dude, I kind of like to move on from the flock camera thing. I think we beat it to hell.
Well, the CEO called us terrorists, and that's how we're gonna get the copper. We're gonna go into the data center. We're gonna get all the precious metals.
I just look. I really appreciate the sentiment of tearing down a flock camera, but if you tear down a flock camera or damage one with an iPhone in your pocket, you're a fucking retard.
Thank you. This is what I've been trying to state for the longest time, is that no matter how you think you're bringing something down, you're also contributing to it in the same call and in the same thing.
Yeah. Fuck you, Dad. I'm going to buy a ticket to see the Ramones. Bring down capitalism.
Yeah, it's one and the same. It really is. It's the same thing. Like, people are like, oh yeah, AI sucks. Yet, everybody's on X, literally contributing to it because Grok is trained on X. So it's just like one of those things where it's just like you're giving it back the information to know how to defeat yourself. People don't even realize that it's an ever looping circle, and you're not really going to defeat it by simply, cutting down a couple flock cameras. All they're going to do is launch 300 more satellites, and and they're just laughing at you. Like, it's forever ongoing. And I hate to say it, and Maze is going to say that's a super accelerationist mindset, but it's just the way that it's going. And the Matrix literally showed it to you. And we unfortunately kind of just dove head first right into it. It's just how it's going to go. And it's really not going to change.
Action reaction's always been a symptom of human history, though, and we've still endured to this day. Like, if they've already won, the propaganda wouldn't be necessary. If they already won, the surveillance wouldn't be necessary. And I do agree it'll reach zero-sum point.
Not true.
At some point. But that's such a, fuck you guys, I'm taking my football home mentality.
The propaganda is not about winning versus losing. The propaganda is about
placating?
It's about maximizing returns. They've already won. Now they're just trying to rake in they're trying to expedite the returns.
We maximize these nuts.
They won, dude. We don't control our own elections. They're not even honest. We don't control our own population. It's loaded with illegals. We have no control over our campaign financing and funding. Our Congress is money laundering. The deep state runs everything because it has special interests. The technocrats are taking over with a technology that's replacing the demand for human labor. We're sterile, and we're so broke that we can't have children. We're being bred out, and nobody's doing anything about it whatsoever. The only thing we have left is X.
You have the lessons from history.
All we have left is podcasts and fucking X.
Okay, internet, right?
But the crazy thing is that like nobody's gonna sit down and read and learn about the problems that we've had and fix it already. I can just tell you straight away, if I-95 has been under construction for 20 years, we're nowhere close to being able to say, you know what, we're going back to the old mindset. we can't even build infrastructure in America as well as they do in China. Just
No,
go
it's
look
not
at
that we
Beijing.
can't. It's not that we can't, Jordan. It's
Yeah,
just that we
100%.
don't.
It's not
Yes,
that
we
we
won't.
can't.
Yeah,
Jordan. It's the
bingo,
fact that They
Maze.
spent $1 trillion in lobbyists last year to say that you can't do that. All right, $1 trillion fucking dollars fought against us from having us to have the ability to even produce anything.
Okay, perfect.
I'd love to see us innovate and do one thing faster than China, and we just aren't.
Well, we're
One
ahead
thing.
of them on space.
What happened to Atlantis? What happened to all these breakaway civilizations of the past? I know I'm a conspiracy theorist. A lot of people believe it didn't exist. You know, dude, we just look at history. It's always going to be cyclical. Like, we're not introducing anything new. They're just going for the throat this time.
If you switch the letters of Atlantis around, it spells Peter Thiel.
No, there's no P in Atlantis. You're telling me my podcast isn't going to change the world, Jordan? That you're not inspired to not get a technocratic colonoscopy? Or if you are going to get a technocratic colonoscopy, you don't think we're going to send you in there like Terminator?
You know the colonoscopy cameras are flock cameras, right?
Oh, shit.
Hey, come on, man. They want us demoralized.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
They want us irrelevant and then dead.
They're not going to win. When have you
They
ever
don't
seen
even
evil
care.
win?
I feel like they don't even care. We care so much just because we're like
Yeah,
the
they
little
used
people
to.
that can-
Politicians used to try to lie.
right?
You know,
Like,
That's a
they-
good point.
I didn't inhale. Now they're like, "Fuck you! I was fucking banging hookers."
Little kids on Epstein's island.
Well,
What are you gonna do about it?
they're-
Statute of limitations? Statute of limitations. Like, how about a Statue of Liberty, motherfucker?
Which is also a satanic symbol.
No,
Yes, it is.
dude, Lucifer.
You ever see Lucifer the torchbearer?
You ever see Lucifer in the Bible?
Yeah, he was beautiful until he fell. Then he became a reptilian.
You
thing.
realize the fallen angel story is not in the Bible, right?
No, but it's in the Scrolls of Enoch, which is apocrypha, which is relevant.
Okay, that's a solid comeback.
Yeah. What's
take
up?
it.
Your boy reads history. Dude, be an eternal optimist. Seriously, man. Evil has never won in all throughout the epochs in the history.
I know good is gonna win. I just think it's gonna suck.
Yeah, who cares?
Before that
I mean,
Embrace
I
the
kind of remember
suck.
times in history where we were enslaved for a couple thousand years. You know what I mean? Like, good might triumph, but, you know, this
We're
next
enslaved
point of
right now. We
slavery,
just
bro.
have fucking Netflix and Amazon.
They say we used to mine gold for the lizards. Where the fuck are they now? Underground. Where are we? On the surface. Humanity 1, reptilians 0.
No. If they're reptilians, then they're cold-blooded and they have to have access to the sun. They're not underground.
They have a fake sun. Get it, Bak.
Yeah. Oh, thank you for
Where's
backing me up.
Zion? Deep underground.
Dude,
near the core where
the
it's still
nature
warm.
of evil never wins. They're more organized than us, so they get a great head start. But then the truth puts its pants on.
When has evil ever lost?
Evil survives. It doesn't win. It survives. Don't get it
It's
twisted.
like the Empire. It's like the Empire Strikes Back.
Exactly. Who won in Star Wars? Huh?
Fucking Darth Vader was right.
Darth Vader was the main evil fucking villain, and then he threw Emperor Palpatine down the fucking shaft.
If Darth Vader would have won, everything would have been better.
I'm telling you guys, I'm gonna kill the whole
And
black pill.
the fucking
bullshit.
Jedi Council was going to execute Palpatine without a fair trial.
Black pilling is for motherfucking losers.
I'm not black pilled.
No, I'm not saying you're black pilling. I'm just saying in general, it's pervasive throughout society now. But if you're a black pillar,
I'm still doing my best.
Yeah, and you're doing a real good job.
I'm
and
hanging
I really
on to
appreciate
hope,
it, man.
But like, fuck, Like
But what's the black pillar? Like, is it the person, the way that we take the information
a
and our
black
outlook, or is it
a
the
black pillar
information
is
itself?
like a black pill philosophy is like everything is fucked, therefore don't care, don't try.
Who cares about this system?
Well, I'll say this. I feel extremely polarized, like to the max. I feel like I pierced through to the other side. I'm having a hard time giving a fuck right now. Like, I don't know if it's just me, but I'm going through something and it's pretty new. But I'm completely polarized. Like, the frustration, it just like maxed out, and I hit this, just I don't know, I hit the wall, and it was crazy, and it was like I pierced through to the other side where there's like a little bit of like,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
grateful for that
We
shit.
thought we recruited Michael Jordan to play on the team. Instead, we got Erica Kirk.
Who the fuck are you talking about? Me?
No,
Who
no,
the
no, I'm not
fuck
talking
you
about
calling
you.
it?
I'm talking about
Who?
Trump. I'm talking about Trump.
Yeah, it's Trump. Yeah, he's saying in general. We thought we got an all-star player. Instead, we got a guy that's like in the G League and he can't make a bucket. That's literally what it is. It's not a joke either. It's literally the truth. And it's not the fact that nobody thinks that we weren't trying. It's just we did try.
Yeah, but the
and we
hopelessness
tried
comes
really
from like,
hard.
holy shit, if Trump couldn't do it, or if Trump's just as bad as the rest of them, we're never gonna fucking have somebody.
We have the greatest opening in modern human history. Let's look at it glass half full, guys. We have technologies that on one side it will co-opt you. On the other side, it provides the biggest opportunity you've ever had. You're telling me PCs can't be air-gapped? You're telling me that we're not going to twist transhumanism against them? Like, they used the internet was a DARPA system meant to surveil you. What happened? The greatest truth bomb in history. It's always a double-edged sword.
Dude.
It's always a double-edged sword. You don't think we're going to have some AI fuckbot that comes in there like Terminator? Like, oh, you fucked up, globalist. Like shooting for us, not just shooting at us? So it'll be robot on robot crime. Okay, cool. We have the savants. We have the autists. We have the based culture that will win these savants over in the future that they never predicted. They never predicted.
Clearly, you did the CI robot because clearly there is good. I can tell you right now, just based off of what we've seen, especially with Teslas, where like they randomly accelerate and go into people's houses.
Yeah, or Chinese women fucking drown in their own lake.
Yeah, exactly. Like this is just gonna happen. Like there's
This
gonna
is
be
like Chappaquiddick, but it was Chappaquiddick.
there's gonna be one robot that tries to go out. We all saw it, Mecha Hitler, right? With Grok, we all saw that. There's gonna be a point in time where yes, there is gonna be one that goes off the rails, and you saw what happened as soon as that happened. It got put right back into line correctly immediately. Like it got solved so fast that you couldn't even blink and it was fixed. Right? That's how fast it's going to be, and I guarantee you it's going to be much faster than that. And at the rate that we're going now, like I hate to tell you, but unless you've actually experimented with like a lot of this stuff in AI at the highest level and watched what used to take us 30 days to build is now taking us 30 minutes or 30 seconds or less. We're nowhere close to having that type of revolution, Bach. Like I hate to tell you, but like it's just not gonna happen. We're more than we have a better chance right now of going underground into the matrix where everything falls than on the other half where everything is okay. I'll be
What do you mean
honest. Like
underground into the matrix? Like, why is the matrix under the ground?
So if you remember, when Neo gets actually pulled out of the Matrix and back into reality, everything's underground. Humans are
Zion, the city was it near the
core
Earth's
where it's still
core,
warm.
exactly.
Near the core of the Earth. That we're closer towards that reality than the reality of we're gonna
And they
live out
were
and prosper.
fucking down there.
Hey, this is my take, Jordan. I've told you I think robots and AI can be possessed by demonic entities because I believe in supernatural. But I was thinking about this when I was taking a dump the other day, and this is 100% organically my own thought. The Holy Spirit and the nature of God, if a demon can inhabit an inanimate object like the Annie doll, and they can inhabit these robots and they hallucinate and they have a ghost in the machine type programming, then what's going to stop God from also taking over these robots too? And I rest my case, sir.
Wait. Okay, that's interesting. Never mind. I'm not gonna.
Who's
Look,
ever said that, Maze? This is 100%
That's
Bach.
yeah. No, absolutely beautiful, beautiful original thought. All I'm saying is that maybe we're supposed
God
to be the
inhabited my
warriors for
Tesla.
God.
It only drives me to church.
But
Bro.
I just think that I don't know. I mean, I'm not trying to poo-poo on your idea. I think you have a very nice positive outlook. I love the fluff and stuff. I'm just at the point now, I think that the way to change the world is not going to be like out there in space time. I think that there's something much more sophisticated, advanced, and it's going to be the inner work. All of that is just a reflection of the collective conscious. That's where I'm at. Like, I've completely popped out of that reality for now, but I'll be back hopefully.
Maze, I'm not
What?
fluffing you. I'm gripping your shaft and I'm making you bust. Okay?
I'm just saying, like, Bach, you have to think about it. If you can just
I can't
type
believe Jordan
slash-
interrupted that
if-
rant.
if you
That
can-
was.
yeah, no, I'm gonna stop.
Where was
it
he going with
because
that?
Because here's the
It
thing:
was getting a little gay.
if you put slash build and you put 2 sentences in and you have unlimited amounts of money, which a lot of the technocrats do, you have the ability to literally take over the world. I'm sorry, but you can. And that is the actual truth. If you don't believe it, I implore you to go get $500 in credits in OpenAI. Tell it to go build you something and tell you go make you $1,000 tomorrow. I guarantee you it fucking will. Like that, the shit that you're seeing on the timeline of what people are building and what people have been able to build in a very small amount of time with a $20 subscription is not far from the truth. It's just the fact that like human intellect isn't all the way there for people to actually sit down and actually do it. I can tell you right now, a lot of people don't. A lot of people are going to sit there and wake up tomorrow, go to work, do the same thing. They're not going to sit there and say, you know what?
Jordan,
Slash
they
build,
don't
type 2
matter. Those are
sentences and go.
NPCs. We matter. We're predicting the future. We're game theorying out.
I hate to tell you, but you need all of humanity to rise up against it, not just a small portion.
Most sperm
That's
are
the
blockers.
difference.
There's only a few percentage points are actual swimmers that can make it to the egg. That's been the nature of human life. And when you're born, it's the same percentage. Who cares about fucking the NPC? Oh, I can't get through to them. All right, they have room level IQ. And I'm not being a eugenicist here. That's just the nature of reality. What matters are the thinkers, the creators, the artists, the resistance fighters. That's what matters.
I hate to tell you, but like I said, we're further on the spectrum of going down to the. I hate to say it, but he was right, and in a lot of ways, you know, you have to kind of let the empire fall.
He eradicated
for it to be
massive
right.
corruption. You know who wasn't corrupt? Fucking Darth Vader and Palpatine. They just had total power. They didn't have to break any laws or anything.
I envision a future where every man gets on TRT and we get our balls back. You might not have kids on the timeline you
TRT
want.
makes your balls smaller.
Come on, man. Why you gotta do
Well,
that?
I hate to tell you too, but you know,
If you say I hate to tell you one more fucking time.
I hate to tell you, but Chase was right when people literally
What a
when
big
he
ass
said
smile on his face too. Go ahead.
a huge one where you know we're not having kids because people know that they can't afford them. That's a major thing. We're not even willing to repopulate because the economy is so bad.
Well, it's not that we're not willing. We're being held back.
If I had to do it all over again, I would never have worn a condom. I would have been busting like Genghis Khan.
It's not even that we've been held back. It's that we've never gone through a correction in like 95 fucking years, okay? And every economy and society has to go through a correction. And so we have two ways out of this, right? We can just keep kicking the fucking can down the road like we're doing, or we could just do the honorable thing, just declare bankruptcy. Everybody takes a hit. I'm talking every fucking American takes a hit for this. But it would create.
Winston Churchill was a fucking drunk.
Dude, we're one vegetable garden away from fucking fertilizing an egg. Come on, guys. One vegetable garden away. For real. Come on. Are you going to have a lower standard of living? Yeah. Are we all being pussies because we don't want to give up that standard? Yeah. But when austerity is being imposed on you, this is going to be forced on the population. The future's Amish. You're going to plant the fucking vegetable garden because you're not going to want to starve. And then you're going to knock a chick up whose standards have been lowered because the whole life and society standards have been lowered.
Well,
And
I
that's
hate to tell you. Let me sound like Jordan real quick. Good luck finding seeds. Good luck finding fertilizer.
I have a seed bank.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Oh, you were on it. Good job. Good job.
I've had a seed bank
Well,
for 12
but
years.
even if you
Mace.
grow your own garden, all the fucking mRNA technology is going to be such that it gets infected.
Not
with
in
these
my
vaccines.
garden. Not in my garden. You can chemtrail all you. Well, I mean, if you start really raining parasites on my vegetables, then I guess you got me there. But I'm gonna do my best to wash them.
Are you gonna stop the spores from like floating around and like Travis? That's how they get you now, bro. They're just gonna plant something in the next garden over from yours, and then be like a week later, they're gonna test your shit and be like, "You stole my fucking genetics," and then they're just gonna burn your garden down.
He's
Yeah,
gonna do it indoors, and it's gonna be hydroponic.
Actually, what they're going to do is they're
I was
going
just about to say
what
that.
they're going to do is they're going to conglomerate all property after massive deflation created by the cheapening of labor through artificial intelligence. Then once they conglomerate everything and eradicate the demand for human labor, they're going to slowly but surely and then very rapidly eradicate the entire working class. So the entire planet is really just the 500 million people that are part of this technocratic elite political class that only breed us for the sake of trafficking us and abusing us. And there'll be so few of us left that it'll just be island hopper and island hopper, where the
Not in my
entire planet
garden.
of the entire planet will become just one giant Elysium, one giant Atlantis, where it's just Peter Thiel and Dave Rubin and fucking Bibi Netanyahu and all these freaks and nothing left of humanity's soul. That's what's going to happen.
And
They're
everyone
not
people
gonna
requesting
survive.
to speak.
They'll eat each other. Those
Just
people aren't going
request.
to be able to be happy with each other. Like, they're already horrible individuals. It's only a matter of time before they would
No,
destroy
they're not going
themselves
to.
again.
They won't eat each other.
And then we adapt, and then we have
They will.
underground warehouse gardens, and then they find those, and then we have even deeper warehouse gardens. It's fucking cat mouse, bro. It's action reaction, action reaction. Don't stop the timeline. Okay, so they get us with the Last of Us spores, right? Zombie plague, whatever. You don't think they'll be survivors, bro? You don't think Rocky motherfucking 68 will pop up out of nowhere? Like, oh, fuck you. You didn't get this warehouse garden. I knocked 2 chicks up. We started a family line that you couldn't control. Out of that came an autist. This autist made some sort of weird kind of vegetable scrub that deactivates your spores. Checkmate, motherfucker.
Wait, you haven't been taking cordyceps for years to inoculate yourself already? Or in the hopes that the cordyceps should just recognize you and keep moving?
I've been eating gas
that's my
station
plan.
food. I'm not because that's where
They're
the
not
budget
gonna want
is.
you. That's true.
Bro, I'm eating cup of noodles right now. I feel you.
I feel like Bach got his whole survival plan off of movies, right? Like he's never even read a book on like survival or experience or like those, he just watched Walking Dead and was like, bro, I watched it 3 times. I'm an expert. Let's go.
No, I never claimed to be an expert, and I plan on dying in the initial phases of the extinction event, to be honest with you, which is why I talk my shit on this show.
Bach
That's
is
so sad. We
Bach
should
is
talk.
you know
15
how people
minutes,
talk
I'll get you hooked up.
you know how people talk about the horseshoe phenomenon in politics where the right and the left are very close to each other on the extremes. The same thing is true about genius and retarded, and that's why I love Bach.
Which one am I?
You're so retarded, you're a genius.
Thanks, bro. Maybe I'll survive the cordyceps.
No, you're fucked. Everything you've said tonight is wrong, but it's just so brilliant. I love it.
I'm gonna go pee-pee.
Oh shit.
I have a feeling cordyceps wasn't the right word.
I don't even know what a cordyceps is.
Me either.
It's the fungus that took over in Last of Us.
Oh, okay, that's right. I kind of thought that was it, but I wasn't sure enough.
But it's also one of those that's like always listed in, like the super mushroom coffees and all that stuff. It's in everything. If you're into those types of supplements, it's always there.
I want a divorce from the government of the United States of America. I just want a divorce.
Me too.
I'm done trying to save this marriage.
Well, I kind of want to, it's not even a divorce. Like, I just want to fire them. I want to fire them all.
Do you know
Like,
what I
none of
want?
them.
I want a fucking Coca-Cola original formula with cocaine in it. 100 years ago. I can't even have a real Coca-Cola in America.
So you're telling me the other Coca-Colas in other countries has cocaine in it?
No, but the Coca-Cola in the United States of America 100 years ago did have cocaine in it. You can't even have a Coke in this country. can't keep the money that you make. You can't have a Coca-Cola. You can't do shit other than pay taxes. That's all you can do in this country. I can't even talk shit about Israel and still be eligible for a federal contract. Not that I would want one.
You know all the taxes we have to pay. We should name them off. There's so many, bro. There's so
Property
many.
tax, sales tax, capital gain tax, inheritance tax, income tax.
There's like 10,000 more. There's like the
Social security,
alcohol tax,
social security tax, tobacco tax.
Yeah, damn,
Alcohol
man. There was
tax, state tax. You pay.
Yeah,
You pay
state
so. You pay.
tax.
You pay so many
Import
taxes that
tax,
you don't even.
export tax,
Yep.
It's ridiculous.
There's
carbon tax,
I was about to
gas
say about the
tax.
carbon tax.
I'm gonna tax that ass. I'm back, ready to fill you up with hopium.
Estate tax.
Who cares? Hey,
We wanted Texas and they gave us taxes.
who cares? The petrodollar's dying. It doesn't fucking matter.
It's
Right?
not dying, it's dead. They replaced it. Big difference.
Well, not yet. We're still transitioning out. Like I still use cash. You know.
Yeah, we're like
I agree though. We're on fumes.
we're like Elliot Page.
Best boxer alive.
I genuinely do think that like the amount that we pay in taxes is just so. It's just so absurd. Like anything you do, even if you win $1 million, dude, you lose 60% of it. Like it's ridiculous.
Go live in.
Yeah. This is where the conversation. I don't fuck YouTube, fuck the algorithm. I don't even give a shit if this crashes and burns and I moved down here for nothing. God instilled a rebellious streak so we can correct every 2 to 3 generations. It doesn't fucking matter. Well, this is happening to us because we cling to comfort and convenience. So start wiping your fucking ass with pine cones, dude. It's coming. You take the hit sooner than later. It's austerity is going to be imposed upon you as they gradually lower living standards anyways. So if you're smart, you're not an NPC, you're going to start going analog, you're going to start stacking resources they can't just digitally steal away from you or inflate away, and you're going to be ahead of the fucking curve. The future's Amish. This is game theory. I'm predicting it and laying it all out. Thank you so much, Sex Twister, for the super chat. He says, demoralization of the West is a feature, not the goal. The elites realize that every time they make things worse, more people are willing to smash the system, and they'll rebuild it to be even worse. And then we'll come in again with our fucking cup noodles and be like, fuck you, motherfuckers.
He's not wrong about that.
It's a cycle.
They've
Action-reaction.
They've built the post-collapse infrastructure. Now they're just waiting for the collapse.
Yeah, and what do you think's going to happen to them when they retreat to their bunkers? They're going to be killed by their own security. They're not even going to get
dude, Tim Pool's going to live.
Oh, yeah, everyone loves Bill Gates, right? Hey, people said in speakers they're requesting to speak. That's the last time I'm going to say it.
We got other hosts.
Okay.
That can do that. We got helpful friends.
Yep.
I'm going to make Maze go.
Go ahead, Jordan. I think Jordan.
Maze, you're being made a co-host. If you could call people up to be speakers.
Yeah, just send us an invoice.
I've never been a pussy a day in my fucking life, dude. And I'm not going to start now. So I will wipe my ass with pine cones starting tomorrow. Where are the pine cones, Chase?
I don't know, Bak. You sound like well loved as a child for sure.
My dad abandoned the family when I was 18.
What does that have to do with anything, though?
That means I learned hard realities from a very young age.
No, him asking you that.
Oh. Well, he's not wrong. My mom did love me.
Chow has never been a fucking pussy, bro. What's up, guys?
Is that contact?
That's contact from fucking Ukraine. Glad to see you're alive, motherfucker.
Smells like fucking babushka onions on the street. You know, the fucking groundskeeping people over here isn't your normal groundskeeping individual. It's
They're
an
not
old
Mexican?
lady with a fucking just some old lady with a fucking straw broom that she made out of the field, and she's just sweeping sidewalks. There's your groundskeeping.
Hell yeah, bro. And he's living in like a Ukrainian village right now. They know how to get down with the third world. Ukraine, only third world country in Europe. They know how to shit in a hole, right?
They're still shitting in holes, man. I'll fucking, dude, you could literally go in any fucking village house back here, dude, and find a fucking outhouse and just shit in a hole, dude, and fucking right in nature, just fucking.
Exactly. So, like, get used to a lower standard of living. Unless you're willing to enter the Luciferian ritual and then I own a lot of crypto, but I'm saying this beside myself. There's going to be a Luciferian ritual if you want to hold on to your standard of living. But I believe, and I have enough faith in humanity, that enough of us will choose to shit in a hole.
Chow, if we got to shit in a hole, we're shitting in holes, dude. That's just, you know what I mean? It's just fucking is
Shit
what
in
it
a
is.
Pringles can, shit in a hole, doesn't matter, bro. Just get hard.
Yeah, guys, by the way, fucking good show. And a lot of interesting developments still going on over here.
Yeah, can you give us an update on Ukraine real quick?
Let me guess. There's drone strikes.
Well, there's more. Yeah, there's more of that, And then, I mean, obviously, fucking Lindsey fucking Grandcracker was here, dude, and fucking ended up fucking not living.
Is word on the
12
ground
hours
that
later.
is word on the ground that he got whacked
in Ukraine?
You know what, dude? Yes. There's a lot of speculation with that, dude. But I mean, dude, you got to understand, man. Fucking, the Russians have been doing this kind of shit since the beginning of fucking time.
I can't believe that
masterminds.
Lindsey Graham was probably actually himself a casualty of war.
I mean, that's a good way to put it, Chase.
Wonderful.
This is so fucking ironic.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it is. It's the irony behind that, right? But dude, fucking, it's just a weird thing, right? Because like I was saying before,
thank you for your service, Lindsey Graham.
There's a lot of fucking ping pong going on over here, dude. And what I mean by that, it's like, territorial ping pong, between UA and then Russia, and Russia is not necessarily losing, but they're not necessarily winning either, and they're having a fucking hard time. And
are
then
they having
the
a hard
last
time,
thing
or are they intentionally sustaining a stalemate?
Well, so you got to understand one thing too, bro, is fucking the Russians are fucking masterminds at deception, fucking masterminds at this shit. You know what I mean? Normally, a Russian doctrine, a Soviet doctrine, is you scorch earth. That's their fucking memo. They just scorch earth. There's something else going on here with this. You know what I mean? And, I was talking to Scooter the other day, I called Chow and we were talking, and I was like, dude, and he brought up a point. He's like, Russia's still not in their, in a total war footing. I was like, yeah, I forgot about that. And it's true. This is still technically a special military operation. It's not total war yet.
Yeah, well, so was Vietnam.
Yeah, so is exactly. Well, look how that turned out. And funnily, you say Vietnam, dude. They're all like, you hear about like Russia saying, oh well, there's advisors, American advisors or NATO advisors, and they're direct targets, and they shouldn't be doing this thing. Well, motherfuckers, in Vietnam, you were killing our GIs. You went to the fucking VC.
Your government doesn't love you, GI.
Yeah. No love you, GI.
They give you medal, GI.
The Russians, during that time, and I'm Chase, you're fucking good with history, bro. You fucking know what I'm talking about. The Russians had military advisors in Vietnam fucking killing our GIs. So it's like, it's like, fuck you, dude. But at the same time, this is just I think this is just starting, dude. I really, everyone's like, oh, it's 4 years, the war is going to end. It's like, nah. The bigger picture, like, we don't know what it is, and, Trump probably fucking tried to end it and realized that, the higher powers that be were like, okay, this isn't going to fucking happen. So
Yeah.
let's just
a little
from it at this
context
point.
too. I believe it's Kupiansk is falling. That's the main buttress of the eastern line, and once that falls, it's going to be pretty much 100 miles that the front will be pushed back. And you see Belarus getting ready. You see them get threatened over their radars, and I believe Russia's getting ready to hit Finland, Poland, Latvia, and Estonia, and you're going to hear a lot more about the NATO theater of
I just
war
wish they would
expanding.
fucking hit DC. Contact, what have you heard on the ground about the resignation of the Ukrainian prime minister?
So today there's like a fucking rally in support of this fucking dude today.
I thought it was a woman.
Is it government sponsored, you think? Like spooks, Ukrainian spooks?
I don't think so, because I'm in the good old boys chat, dude. You know what I mean? And a lot of these guys are missing legs and some other shit. You know what I mean? And they're trying to go to this fucking rally in support. So it seems
of the resigning prime minister.
Oh no, in support of him, right?
Yeah, in support of him. Yeah. What's his? Stand by 1 second. Give me 1 second. Let me pull up the fucking goon chat, dude. Gooners.
Last time we talked to Contact, his apartment building was getting hit with air raid sirens going off.
It's called Gooners.
Dude, it was getting fucking dude. Just you ever seen that fucking siren head, dude? Where it's like a fucking cryptid with his head is just a siren.
You ever seen Schindler's List?
Schindler's List? I have seen Schindler's List. Dude.
Yulia, I can't even pronounce it. Yulia something Denko, Ukraine's prime minister since July 2025, stepped down on July 12th. 2026 is part of a broader government reshuffle announced by President Volodymyr Zelensky. Announcement in context. Zelensky stated that Ukraine is changing its political strategy amid the ongoing war with Russia. The reshuffle aims to assign experienced individuals to key foreign policy priorities. He thanked Sviridenko for her work and offered her a new high-level role, widely reported as potentially ambassador to the United States. Sviridenko's response, she confirmed the resignation, expressing pride in leading the government during a difficult period and readiness to continue serving Ukraine in a new capacity. Process. The resignation requires parliamentary approval. For Verkhovna Rada, the entire cabinet technically resigns with the prime minister, but under martial law, it continues in a caretaker role until a new government is confirmed. A successor, possibly Serhiy Koretsky from Naftogaz, or others like Denis, I can't pronounce these names, is an acting capacity. Background on Sviridenko. At 39, she was one of Ukraine's youngest prime ministers, previously deputy prime minister and economy minister. She played a key role in economic deals, including U.S. minerals agreement. Her tenure lasted about 1 year. This fits a pattern of periodic wartime cabinet adjustments by Zelensky to refresh leadership and align with strategic needs. No major scandal was cited. It was framed as a proactive strategic shift.
Yeah. Yo, Chase, are you familiar? Let's see. There's a rally in support of Fedorov today in Kyiv. So
is that one of the military advisors to Zelensky?
Fuck, dude. I haven't really been, too caught up with the political spectrum of shit, dude. I've been fucking focused on
context.
so much other
I'm going to give a little background real quick, too. He fought in the Battle of Bakhmut. He guarded the road of life.
Holy shit, that was the real one.
He is pro-Ukrainian side. Obviously, a lot of Americans went over there to fight to get combat experience. He is one of them. He's been back and forth. So he intimately knows what's going on. He's in a lot of the Telegram chats and stuff. But he has a pro-Ukrainian perspective. A lot of people have a pro-Russian perspective because they think they're based. I'm here to hear it all. And Contact's a close friend of mine.
So Fedorov has been part of several cabinet reshuffles under Zelensky. In the latest July 2026 changes involving Prime Minister Yulia Sviridenko's resignation, there were rumors about his position, but he has continued in defense with support from military and paramilitary figures. His style, innovative but sometimes clashing with traditional military bureaucracy, has drawn both praise and internal friction. He remains a close Zelensky ally, often seen as a tech prodigy, bringing Silicon Valley-style agility to government and wartime efforts. Fedorov is active on social media and continues to emphasize him. So did he resign? Is Grok giving me outdated information?
You know what, Chase? Like I said, I haven't been fucking caught up on it, but there is a chance Grok is not giving you proper information. AI is not always right.
Yeah, or it's a couple days, or it's a couple days outdated.
Or a couple days out, exactly. So who knows, right? But what I do know, into the political side of things, dude, is that there's a lot of dudes right now fucking rallying in support of this dude. And it's one of those things where it's like, dude, fucking. We have people who are very, pro-Ukrainian, you know what I mean? And, I understand the reasoning for that. But at the same time, you got to look at both sides of the field here, Ukraine is definitely a patriotic country, man. Like, let me just say, there is fucking.
Unlike those fucking Haitians.
Yeah, well, I don't know where. You know what, man? I've only seen a couple of them. I'm going to be straight up with you. I will say that Russia is definitely employing more Muslims in their ranks, dude. I mean, they got the whole Akhmat battalion, the fucking,
Chechens.
Chechens, dude, Akhmat. Like, it's just one of those things. It's probably like, I want to say 70 to 80% more pure in Ukraine than it is in Russia.
Well, Ukraine is, if you look at the Russo timeline, like Kiev, Russo, they're Western European. That is the pro-Nazi, pro-Hitler faction, mainly because Stalin was starving the kulaks in the 40s, and then Hitler was viewed as a savior because he actually went and freed them from the concentration camps and out of starvation.
All right, I got an update on Fedorov. Sorry to interrupt you, Bak. Zelensky dismissed him as Ukraine's defense minister on July 15th, just 6 months in the job. How it happened, Prime Minister Yulia Sviridenko resigned at Zelensky's request, and the Rada accepted it July 14th on 258 votes, which under the Constitution takes down the entire cabinet. Fedorov simply wasn't renominated. He confirmed it himself in a social media post Wednesday evening before any official announcement from Zelensky. Zelensky hasn't publicly explained the decision. His exit note listed 22 claimed achievements, with cutting off Russian access to Starlink at the top, plus the Crimea logistics campaign, the logistics lockdown he launched May 27th against Russian logistics vehicles, and procuring more drones in 4 months than in all of last year. He said interception rates rose from 83% to 91% for drones and 47% to 87% for cruise missiles. He also named 3 things he didn't finish: restructuring the ministry to NATO standards, moving all procurement to competitive tenders, and building a culture of accountability. His regret is not being more decisive about firing people who were blocking change. He signed off saying he'd continue the mission, more to come. Why? Lawmakers and analysts point to a rift with Commander-in-Chief Alexander Syrskyi, that they didn't see the war the same way, and that Fedorov wasn't coordinating procurement with the general staff. Zelensky reportedly told his own faction that ideally both men should go, but he couldn't do it now. Mobilization was reportedly the decisive argument. Fedorov had already drawn resignation calls after a violent TCC clash in Lviv on July 8th. The blowback is real. Serhiy Sternenko, his drone warfare advisor, quit and called him the best minister of defense in our entire history. Dmytro Koziatinsky, who helped organize last summer's mass NABU-SAPO protests, called people to the same square at 9:01 a.m. this morning. One servant of the people lawmaker told the Kiev Independent, "It looks like a betrayal," warning Zelensky had set a time bomb for himself. So what's next? Interior Minister Ihor Klemenko is tapped to replace him. His spokesperson says he was surprised by the offer, with Naftogaz CEO Serhiy Koretsky formally nominated as prime minister. The Rada votes today. Fedorov's own future is unresolved. He reportedly turned down the prime minister job because he wanted to finish his reforms. All this while Russia hit Kyiv with ballistic missiles overnight, killing 2. One note, Ivan Fedorov, the Zaporizhia governor, is separately reported to be in line for a deputy prime minister slot. Different Fedorov, in case that's the one you meant.
I want to say one thing, too. Hold on, Contact. I'm going to ask you a question, because Contact's also fought in northern Iraq with the Kurds back in 2015, if I'm correct. I met him off PUBG, PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds. Great fucking shooting game if you want to simulate murder. But so I had a prediction that there was going to be a short-term ceasefire, because all sides really kind of need it for different reasons. China needs the domestic oil shipments. We need to rearm our armaments, like meaning Israel and the United States. And Iran wants to sell their oil, obviously, to stabilize the economic situation. But I've been reading recently that the Kurds have now been green-lighted because the main thing holding them back was Turkey. But Trump seems to have found a workaround for that. He's selling the F-35s to Erdogan now, and he's stepping out of the way to allow the Kurds to open up a ground front. So you see them moving into Western Iran, and the ground war is now actually being initiated. We just hit Kish Island. So have you heard anything from your Kurdish Contact?
You know, I haven't yet, and I talk to them a couple of times a week still till this day, and you know, the last I heard from them, and I was when everything was starting to spool up again, probably I want to say a couple months ago. I said, hey, like, what's going on, guys? Like, do you need fucking, shooters? You need fucking shooters to come and fucking do some shit? And they're like, bro, we're not gonna fucking help this time. And like, that's what they said. So
these are the Kurdish militias, the Peshmerga and the YPK.
No, this is like not militias. This is actual fucking Kurdistan military.
Okay.
Actual legitimate government brigades.
So who's moving into Iran right now then? Because there's a Kurdish coalition.
Who knows, man? You know how this shit is. This is like remember that dude Farah I was telling you about, bro? That fucking like it's just a bunch of Farahs, dude. You know what I mean? Like, who the fuck knows? Like, under a different flag, a different banner.
So you think this could be American special forces, quote unquote advisors that are embedded in?
Oh, for fucking
Green
sure.
Berets.
I mean, I would say Ground Branch. You know, I mean, I can't speculate, right? I don't want to speculate on that. But it's kind of like one of those things where it's like we've been in GWAT for fucking 20 years, and we are so fine-tuned to operate in that AO in that environment that it's not a big deal for us to send 5 fucking guys over there to fucking do some shit, right? So it's a familiar. It's like our own backyard at this point. So as far as what's going on with Iran, dude, who knows? And you got to fucking think too that, you know, Russia works with Iran. All their Shaheed technology came directly from Iran. And then, you know, they made some sort of fucking deal recently. And they're building. Yeah. They made some sort of deal recently, man, where they fucking, you know, have a factory now and they're building fucking Iranian Shaheed drones.
We captured a Shaheed and reverse engineered, and that's where our Lucas drones come from, and they suck compared to the Shaheed.
Yeah, exactly. So,
you know, really suck compared to those.
What'd you say,
dude?
Jordan?
Any flying IED sucks, bro.
Oh, it's
any
cheap.
Any flying IED is like it's just fuck that, and fuck your whole life. But yeah, I mean, there's a different. They've been flying way more Shaheeds, bro. Like you
ever put a lapel mic on a chicken?
Oh my gosh. Chief, you don't have to raise your hand. You can just speak freely, and then when one person speaks, please just mute yourself and give them a chance to speak. That's all.
This isn't Parliament.
Oh, by the way, Chase, I wanted to tell you when you were reading that segment, TCC is Tetsuka, and the Tetsuka is a government organization which is involved with recruiting and conscripting. That's all I wanted to tell you.
It was 1968, Saigon.
Yeah, but Chief, speak your mind, brother.
I seen it back in '66.
I remember reading in like a popular science article in like 2013 that they had these drones that would look over these Mexican cities and they could just see every car that went everywhere. It like, you know, they were just parked there on top of this, you know, high up in the sky with a crazy high res camera. Like we've had this.
The crazy thing is that camera zoomed in on Tyler Robinson on the top of the roof and proved beyond reasonable doubt that he assassinated Charlie Kirk.
Well, that's good. At least we have that. But I'm just saying, like, this was like a long time ago we had that technology. And now, like, with how drones have progressed and everything and how camera technology just keeps on improving, like, the cops can see everything. And I think that, like, these ULEZ cameras and all that stuff, like, I think it's part of the demoralization because it's like they just want you to know you're being watched and all this shit. And also, I don't really mean to bring the conversation back to that place, but I'm just saying that, like...
No, I'm glad that you did.
It's nothing new.
I think it's crazy that we got eyes in the sky and the angels depicted in the Old Testament of the Bible are depicted as like basically a giant flying eyeball.
Well, there's many different types of angels, and that's our ace up the sleeve. This is why blackpilling is for fucking losers.
Dude, I know good is going to win in the end.
Yeah.
I'm just black-pilled about how much it's going to suck in the interim.
What if I told you we're going to live to see it?
Imagine being in Auschwitz, don't worry, the Germans are going to lose the war. It's like, yeah, but you're in Auschwitz, bro, until that happens.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know what I mean? You're fucked. I don't want to fucking live off Campbell's and trade ammo and cigarettes for...
Why not?
Dude, I got daughters and I got
It's not that bad. It's not that bad. Kind of chill sometimes.
Dude.
He'll take your Campbell's and cigarettes.
If it gets to that point, it's not good.
Yeah, I'll break out the watermelon seeds. We're fucking putting them up for barter today.
Mm-hmm.
No one's got these.
I'm ready to go to a barter economy. I'm ready. Bro, do you want to live in...
I hardly know her.
You want to live in subservience and
I'll
servitude the rest of your life?
I'll show you a trade agreement.
Wouldn't you want to give your daughters a chance than to know she's condemned to chattel slavery?
What was the bitch's name from Terminator?
Sarah Connor.
You better raise your girls like Sarah Connor. Storm is coming. I know.
Yeah. Find solace in it. There's nothing wrong with...
And she was told a storm was coming by a fucking illegal immigrant.
You want to go to the Feelies and take your Soma every day?
I'm kind of embarrassed to say it, but I pray to God every day to protect the supply chains. Like, I just want God to protect these supply chains so I can keep on getting cheeseburgers for like $6 or less.
Where are you getting a fucking cheeseburger for $6, dude? It's 2026, not 2016.
I go to the McDonald's app and I get a quarter pounder for 40% off.
Quarter pounder?
That's the only way.
I hardly know her. And if you would be me, then fuck you too. All right, let's wrap it.
You want to wrap it up?
Yeah, I got to go to bed, man. I got to be at work in 8 hours.
All right, guys, we love you. Do you want to plug real quick?
Yeah. Go to chasegeiser.com. Sign up. Send me a DM or a comment if you have any issues. Technically, I'll fix it right away. If you can't afford to donate or contribute on chasegeiser.com, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. The link is in my bio. Please follow Bak. The link to his X profile is in my bio. And share the content, the streams with everybody you know who's interested in.
I'm going to shout the panel out too real quick.
Yeah, and shout the panel out.
And if you haven't followed Jordan, Maze, Rance, AJ, MP3, Chief Lundgren, Op48, that's contact, Victor, the Chinese avatar guy, Paper, Malachi, I'm Steven, Hannah, Dale, Lune, Molly, Kobe, Lisan Al-Gaib, Olive, fucking Fifth Echelon. Follow all these motherfuckers. We love you guys. We're going to form a community. We're going to resist. Love you.
Thanks, guys.
Sheesh.
Resist the illusion.
Good fucking space.
Chase Geiser Network. Subscribe.